Well, you came in contact with Tupac as well.
Yes, I did.
When I interviewed Malik Yoba recently.
Who's born on the same day as me. Shout out to Malik Yoba, September 17th in this bitch.
Okay. Yeah, we had our first interview recently. And, Malik had come in contact with Tupac as well. And he said something that got a lot of people riled up. And he said that Tupac talked about changing the community, but Nipsey actually did it.
Tupac talked a lot about what we need to do for the community. And obviously, with his mother, Afeni, who was a Panther, and, by extension, the breakfast programs, education programs, all that kind of stuff that he was steeped in, he spoke to those things. But Nipsey was actually doing those things. The interesting thing about him is that he wasn't on everybody's radar like that.
I saw that.
What do you think of that statement?
I mean, it's true and not true. I'm going to say that, well, for some people, Tupac's example could have led some people down a positive road, but it also could have led some people down a negative road as well, if we keep it 100. You know what I mean? Because he was that type of individual. I mean, we all are, really. Nothing's 100% positive, 100% negative, but he definitely had that dual type of thing going on with him. You know what I mean? That one side where it seems like a, Black Panther, positive, love the community type of shit, and then the other side was thug life, some gangster shit. So his positive side could have inspired other people, you see what I'm saying, which in turn can help change the community. You see what I'm saying? But what I believe Malik Yoba is saying, that Nipsey actually had physical things other than just inspiring people. He actually had ventures within the community that were tangible, things you can touch, not just concepts and energy. You know what I mean? Which I think is what Tupac really provided for people, was more of an energy and just a frame of reference. But this guy actually had brick and mortar shit you can touch. And I think that's the difference. And I think that's what he meant.
Well, yeah. And there's a lot of nuances you have to look at in these situations. Tupac was 25. Nipsey was 33.
Right.
Tupac was bouncing around all over the country for years, whereas Nipsey was from that area, exclusively, was born and raised in that particular area and had been there the majority of his life. Tupac was, Baltimore, New York,
Tupac
Oakland,
was a Rolling Stone, and this guy had roots planted where
L.A. He had just got out of prison, a few months before he got murdered.
First of all, Pac wasn't from L.A. Like, you know what I mean?
Wasn't from L.A. at all.
Born over here and all that. So that's a difference too. Like,
Yeah, and people don't want to admit this, but I actually talked to people around him, so I really know, more details about this story. Pac died with a few $1,000s like in his bank account. He had millions coming from all his royalties and everything, but between all the cases he was fighting, all the people he was taking care of, and, just being, spending his money and wilding out, he wasn't really focused on business. He was more of a pure artist as far as I'm concerned. He was just focused on the music, and that's it. And everything else, well, I'll make enough to get by with it, and it'll get worked out later on. Whereas Nipsey spent a large portion of his time working on businesses.
Nipsey said, $1 million life insurance on my flesh, nigga. Like, that's in his raps. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's some ill shit for a rapper to say? Like, when's the last time you heard a rapper say he had life insurance? Forget in his rhymes, just say it out loud, period. Like, so that just kind of shows you where his head is at. But from what I understand, Nipsey, he was always, from what I understand, he's got interviews when he was like 20 years old, and he's talking about ownership and you know, so his mind was just groomed in that type of way from a very young age, whereas, like you said, Pac was just on some artist shit. Like, I don't know if he even really cared about the money. You understand? Like,
yeah, and because all his cars were leased, you know, except for like he had like a Jaguar that St. Ides gave him, but like all those Benzes and everything, those were all death row leases. And you know, running a business is fucking time consuming, man. You know, I wish I could just be a pure interviewer. Right. I show up, I do the interview, and everyone else, you know, someone else is paying for this office that you're in right now and handling all the employees and doing the HR shit and doing all the back end stuff. And, you know, like one of these radio interviewers, they show up, they do their interviews, and they go about their day. A lot goes into that. And I don't think Pac, at the time of his life, was really focused on that type of thing. He was focused on the art. And the art was phenomenal. Nipsey the whole time was always juggling the two. Right. So, yeah.
And hold up though. So can that partly explain why Pac might have been bigger in the entertainment field? You see what I'm saying? As far as a bigger star, because he had more time to focus on that. Whereas, and Nipsey was bigger in the business field because he actually didn't devote as much time to the, you see what I'm saying? And so maybe he didn't rise to the same levels star-wise that a Tupac did.
I think that's exactly what happened. What happened.
And so that being said, so what? Like, see, we all got our strengths and weaknesses. You understand what I'm saying? And like, just because Nipsey's strength was business and Pac's strength was, you know, whatever it was, just inspiring people. Like, do they have to be identical? You see what I'm saying? Do they have to be identical? Like, it's okay, I feel like. It's okay.
Yeah, man, it's completely okay. And one is not worse than the other. And everyone finds their way. And later on at 33, Pac might have completely abandoned the music altogether and just focused on his businesses. Kind of like a chameleonaire. You know, like a chameleonaire just does investments and doesn't really rap anymore.
I heard he invested in like Lyft early or something like that.
Lyft, yeah. He invested in Lyft early. And that probably worked out for him. And a lot of people can actually invest in companies early. You know, you can go ahead and Google it. Like what a chameleonaire did is not closed to just people like chameleonaire. The average person could do that.
But it's about, you know, picking the right shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Because I'm sure there's other ride sharing services that might have started at the same time that are no longer here that we didn't hear about, and Uber and Lyft happened to just get to the top. You kind of have to, you know what I mean? Be able to spot some shit sometimes to know what to put your money into.